Hello everyone, welcome to this event, how to get consistent results from AI without being a techie. So please drop in the chat box before we begin how you're feeling about this session, or what you're thinking about it, or what are the thoughts right now once you join. Just put in the chat box. Uh, I'll be recording this session, just a heads up, so that people who could not join, I could send them the recording. So yeah, so this will be recorded. Um, Yeah, and just let me know from where you are joining from, like which part of the city. Um, Hi Tejasvi, uh, which part of the country? Or yeah, uh, all right, that's fine. So I'll kick start off this. So before starting off, right, just raise your hand or just have a put in the chat saying that if you have tried ChatGPT, Claude, or any other tools, and then it spit out or spat out garbage, or if you have ever felt the amazement it's sometimes the chat gpt or the other AI tools sends out to you, and the responses that you liked about it. Yeah, also think about it, or just raise your hand, or give some indication that if you felt frustrated that sometimes AI never gets you, kind of thing. So have you ever felt that? Or you can just come on camera and just let me know. So yep. Yeah. Hi, Tejasvi from Delaware. Hi, Vipul. I was just hi. Yeah. So I was just wondering. So just pop in the chat as where you're calling from. And yeah, I'll quickly start off as we begin. Hopefully this works. Yes. So there's a session how to get consistent results from AI without being a techie, and I'll just talk about the brief history. So there was the first time a conference that was set up long in 1956 by Claude and John McCarthy, Nathaniel Rochester, and Marvin McKinsey. The thing is that they had this conference run for like 10 weeks with all the prominent mathematicians and computer scientists that they knew. So it was about 10 to 11 um, people out there, and then they brainstormed for 10 to 11 weeks. And the thing that happened during that conference was, as it as the conference went in, they all of these are great, means all intelligent scientists and all. So they were all had their own egos, and they all had their own way of working and thinking about this problem of using artificial intelligence, and they all came up with different solutions. And the thing was that none of them, at the end of it, um, they could not come to a consensus as to what AI would look like in future, or what are the ways they can solve this problem having computers think on about themselves. So that was what was happening, and thing is they all went about their own way, and that's what it happened, that at the end of it, like 70 years later, we find that there are different ways of implementations of AI, and some of them and the primary ones originated from that particular conference. So one of the first thing that they did was talking about general problem solver. So maybe in some of your interviews, there will be like a logical questions that you would have experienced, that there are three priests, and then there are three cannibals, and they have to cross a river, and in a boat you can only have two people going in, and then you need to, if there are more cannibals than priests, cannibals will eat that priest out. So you need to ensure that you need to send all the six people go from one side of the river to the other side of the river without getting eaten. So that's the problem, that they would you would have a logical reasoning. You do an if else statement saying if this happens, don't send the priest. If this happens, send the cannibals and so on. And that was what originated as an expert system, where they would define all this knowledge into a system and computer would come out with a solution. The problem with that was that system relied on I'll just admit few people in. Yeah. So that system relied on people having to hard code all the information on the AI. Like you need to put all the conditions of this particular system into AI. So that was not a scalable options, but still a better option at that point of time than what they had. The second thing that they came up with was a concept called perceptron. Now, this was about mimicking biology. So, in biology, you have neurons, and neurons, each a single neuron would, when it receives an input signal, it sends out an output signal that inform in terms of electrical impulse. And what the researchers at that point of time thought was they should think of artificial intelligence in terms of a neuron. And the way they thought about it was you send an input, and depending on the probability, that neuron might send 0 or 1, basically, whether it will send a impulse out or not. Now, and then they added a feedback loop so that it learns from each other. And that thing, you know, started the machine learning journey that we have today, that having the which based upon the probabilities and so on. Now the problem with this machine learning thing was it could not work with text output. It could they could use it for image processing, where they could have image processed, but for a text output or text generation it became a problem. So they again enhanced it and they came up with something called recurrent neural network, which was basically sequential learning. That okay, after this particular word, the next next probable word would come. This is the probability of the second word to be come in. For example, you have when you say cute, it can be a cat, the cute cat, and that's how it started doing that. But the problem with this particular approach was it was again very sequential. It took a lot of time. And then in 2019, Google brought in the transformers model. Basically, what they did is this process they had, they just made it parallel with lot of computers throwing into it, and that's what became the precursor to what OpenAI brought in with ChatGPT, and then the Claude and all of that. So that's a little bit of history on how these things came about. And so just moving on quickly. So right now, basically, there are three main forces reshaping businesses and the workplace that we have right now. Uh, one of the first one is the AI accessibility revolution. In terms of every person right now can use AI in their systems, like it's accessible to everyone. Earlier, this accessibility, it was accessible only for researchers, computer scientists, kind of a profile. But right now, everyone can have this particular AI in their computer or in the phone, for that matter. And what that led to was the second aspect of it, the AI slop. You have people flooding the market with all the AI generated content, and it has become a very difficult challenge in differentiating the real content from noise, and you don't know what is fake, what is real, kind of thing. And I think that's the last piece. It's because we don't know what is real and what is fake. We are lost. We Most people yearn for human connection, as what is the authentic human connection that comes into the picture. And that's where I think it's for people in the workplace as well as in businesses. It is how do I create that connection. Now this happened very recently. I can give you a very good example. We had a performance appraisal at the place I work. And the till until last year we have to provide we have to provide feedback for other people during this period of time, which is then used for the overall appraisal system. This time round, the organization wanted to use AI, and they introduced, you can generate the feedback using AI. And what happened was, yeah, you started getting this amazing feedback from people, and then when you read about it, you found that it was such a generic feedback. At the moment, as a receiver of that feedback, when I read it, I just felt, this is generated from AI. This is not he meant. And it just that the value of the feedback that we used to give earlier, which should used to take a lot of time, that was personal and that had a personal touch to it. But because the AI, the way they implemented AI, that personal touch was lost. So that's where this third important thing about human connection comes into the picture. That whenever we know that something has been done through AI, it feels unreal, and it also feels yeah, it feels fake. So that's the third market force that is coming through. So just a recap for people who just joined. So I was just talking about the AI history in terms of how the AI models came through, and then the three forces, that is reshaping businesses and the workplaces. That is, one is AI accessibility revolution. Second is rise of AI slop, uh, which is the amount of the AI generated content that's going into the market in YouTube, in Instagram, all the social channels that are out there, as well as at work, where people are creating AI generated work. And I mean, the people feel that they're clever about it, but yeah, you need to use it in the right way. And then the last bit was about the human connection. Um, so now just go back to a little bit storytelling about myself, and how I came about into this particular approach. So 11 years ago, my uncle's medical business was trapped in an unfair partnership where he was tied with a larger organization who controlled the revenue, the sales, and everything. So he had decided to take an action that he wants to separate from them. But the thing that binded him at that point of time was the software solution that was there. The automations and everything was with the larger organization, and he could not do it. So he decided to take an action, saying that he went out and searched the business community, people around him, and everyone to find a solution for this particular problem. And at some point of time, he got an idea that he needs to build this, and he also had a discussion with me, and I said that we could do it. And then we decided to do that and went and built that particular solution. And what eventually happened was he was able to separate out from that bigger organization. And the thing that I loved about it was that the underdog story, having a small organization being able to get its independence from a bigger organization and can develop their own technology stack on that particular thing. So that was a key takeaway from me, and I love the underdog story part of it. I support underdogs in sport as well, so I think that's where that story resonated with me. And I believe that with AI right now, with the systems in place, most small businesses and organizations can use that, and they have that opportunity to leverage that, and they can challenge the bigger organizations within the systems. So, and this also applicable to people at workplace, that even if they don't have the technical know-how of how AI works, they can use it to increase their output, which would be relevant to the organizations. That's one of the key uh, driver for me on this thing. Now, the next bit I want to talk about is about this having the right belief. Now, if you have been following the news out, people talk about AI as a new technology standpoint, and then they say, you know what, there's nothing new about it. It is just another tool that you need to use it. But that is also not 100% right, because there are certain scenarios that at the end of the day, when you started your business, if you're a business person, or if you're at work or you're looking for work, kind of a scenario, the reason why you got into that work was because you had passion for something. You wanted to earn money, you wanted to get become financially free, or looking for independence in some shape or form. Or most of your activities is to pursue your own passion that you're doing about it, or get into financial freedom, or having a good work-life balance where you spend certain amount of time at your work so that you can have a good time to have a good life outside work, in terms of, yeah, being with friends, family, looking after kids, if you have kids, and so on. So that's where you were, but you were not there to slave at the business for like 16 hours a day, or slave at work for 16 hours day every week, or say 12 hours a day, kind of a scenario. But the way things are moving right now, people are expecting AI to do all the things, and we see that AI not able to do those things, and instead we actually end up doing it. Or sometimes the AI does so much that what it leads to is that we need to sit and review all of them, and it takes time. So what is happening is that you are spending more time at your desk, or you're more spending more time at your thing. Now, the other day, I was thinking about this, and I thought, I had to go for a school pickup, and obviously there was a meeting that was there, and I need to pick my daughter from the school, and I got late because the meeting ran over. And now I was thinking of the similar fashion. You know what? How can I avoid being late for a school pickup, and so on? So few options comes out of the mind is like, what, you tell the meeting organizer that you need to leave at a certain point of time, but there's a risk that you might miss out some the key important aspect of it, or there might be some input that you wanted to give out. Second is you drive faster. Is there a way where you can find a shorter route to the school to get to it faster, so that you can, even though you are attending the meeting, you're still able to get to it? Or the third is you organize somebody else to pick the kids up from the school, like it could be your wife, your friend, or anybody else whom you trust. So those are the options that you had. But then those are not what would lead to a better, a systematic approach, if I would want to say that. So when I did a deeper thinking around that, I found that it's a better idea to the block that 1 hour to include the 15 minutes of preparation time to go, in terms of getting ready and so on, and then drive to the school, pick my daughter, and then have 15 minutes of reset for myself. Like, you're gone to the traffic, you're coming back, and you take 15 minutes off just to get yourself back ready for work. So I would block 1 hour. I mean, that's what I did, like like literally yesterday. I blocked like 1 hour and put a recurring meeting off, so that next time around I don't have to ask permission to leave meeting early or any of those sorts. Basically, I just block that additional time for myself. Yeah, I think Ross mentioned what's the agenda. So I'm coming to the workshop. So I just setting the context here, and I'll talk about the key things that we are going to cover. Is what is a system that we need to develop to implement AI in such a way that uh, we are not reliant on AI. And then there's a demo where we work on the document that I shared in the sheet, and then we'll uh, we work through that system. So yeah, just on that agenda. So coming back to my school story that I was telling. So the thing is, with AI, you will be chasing if you look at AI as another tool, you will be chasing it as tools. You'll be chasing always because it is a developing world in terms of it's evolving, it's turning around, it's changing. There are new tools in the market, and there are new creations. People are developing new solutions based on the new tools. So it's always evolving around. And what happens is that if you are chasing those tools and those ideas, you feel that overwhelm that comes into the picture, and that overwhelm leads you to, you become anxious, you become frustrated, and you feel that you are always under the pump in terms of what happening in the AI. So over the last 20 years, I worked across different domains like banking, healthcare, telecom. And what I found, like what used to take like 6 months to 1 year, with the right set of knowledge and the right implementation, it could be done in like a month or even less than that. A case in point in example is the last week where I had a friend. So if you are in, I think not many people are from Australia in this particular crowd, but if you are in Australia, we have this disability system which provides people having disability to access support providers. Now these support providers have lot of audit forms to be created. They have to fill in lot of audit forms, and all these forms are manual. So if you're a small uh, support provider, it becomes overwhelming to fill all those forms because you can't, buy a system or depend on somebody else's system to generate those audit forms for auditors. So, so my friend came to me about it, and what we did is it took me. So he had a template of form that needs to be filled in, and he also had the data point. The thing is, he had to do this, copy the whole data from this template, copy the whole data and into this template and create a new document. And this I had to do like across what 30 forms, and he was like frustrated around it. So that's where what I did was I mean, I had Claude code and I knew Claude could do it. So I put that in into the Claude code, put the template in, put all his data in, and told Claude to generate the template. Now it didn't do it right out of the gate, but it took around 15 minutes to do it. So that's the thing that, and it was able to generate the document. And then over the week, he was been sending me documents, and I've been able to do it like within like 5 to 10 minutes of my time to convert those documents into whatever he needs into that format. So the point was that what used to take, that would have taken me a month to build it if I had to do it the traditional way. But because I have AI and I was able to know how to do it, I could do that over like 15 to 20 minutes and maybe an hour for all the documents, which was pretty fast. So the belief that I mean, the whole point of the story, coming to the whole point of the story that here is that it's not that AI is just a tool that you need to think about it as a tool. It is about having a system where AI is one of the tools that you are using. So you need to develop your system in such a way that AI just becomes one tool within the whole ecosystem of the tools. So it might have your calendar, scheduler, your documents, your data, but then along with that, that AI as a tool just sits along with it, and you need to have an entire system that incorporates everything. Because if you don't do that, don't have a systems approach, what will happen is AI is going to leave, you are just going to chase tools, and that is what is going to happen, and you'll end up with frustration and anxiety about using AI. Just taking a pause. Any questions or any feedback? All right, so now I'll just yeah.
Just a comment. It's a evolving field, and we all are relatively new in this segment. So, whatever we learn from you, that's a kind of a eye opener for us.
Yeah. Thanks, Vipul. So the next step here is the AI maturity model. Now, this is something um, I put up with in terms of how or where you are. It just gives you a very high level overview as where you are. So right now, I mean, it depends on where you are, but this is how I want you to think about yourself or in terms of where you are at AI. So the level one is where you are at prompting. You provide prompts and use AI like Google. You just put in data and get an output out, and you're happy with it. Or sometimes you get frustrated with it, but that's the first level. The second level is we talk about contextual prompting. Uh, yeah, I'll get to that link. Contextual prompting. So that's about, if you have a simple prompt, you might or might not get results. So that's why you try to add more context to the prompt, which would give you context, consistent outputs. And then level three is evaluation. So how are you going to challenge the results that are coming from AI, and how are you going to validate your AI outputs? That's level three. Uh, and level four is where it can be implemented across your teams. So that is, how do you have shared prompts, consistent standards across your business, across your workplace, so that, for example, there is a team of 5 people, and I build something very cool in using AI, but my teammate doesn't have it, or if I leave the job at that point of time, that process that I was following, it just goes away with me, and the other person doesn't have it. So, and there could be another scenario where everybody is doing their own thing, and what happens is, if you're a business, then you be exposed to certain risk that you might not be aware of, like security risk or other kinds of privacy risk and so on. So you want to have some kind of a shared standards within your team, within your business, that would help you, get to a better state. And the last stage is system automation. So now, instead of you doing it all the work, you want an automated system doing it. It's not different from the current automation systems that we have, but it just has a little bit more little more intelligence in terms of getting certain outputs. But that would be like a level one, two, three, four, five. I mean, based on whatever your experience, you could identify at what level you are. And yeah, if you are interested, yeah, you can put in the chat, like, if but today what we are covering is level one to three, and we'll get good results even with level one to three. And for level four and five, it's a different conversation. It's a deeper dive into it. So that's where on the maturity model that we have. Any questions on this one? All right.
Uh, just from the model perspective, like are this the first two or three? Those are more of a generic model applicable for personal as well as business purpose, and rest of those are more kind of a higher end corporate versions.
Um, I wouldn't put that differentiation there. Um, but to a certain extent, you are right. You could consider level one, two, three as where which you use like a day-to-day aspect of it, and level four and level five is where you get into the maturity phase, where certain things you want it to be shared, and certain things you still do it privately. So the shared ones goes into level four and level five, or the repeated task that you have, that goes into level five, like the system automation. You don't you give an input and it gives you an output that you're looking for every time, this, or like you want to run it like weekly, like every week you want to run one particular report. So you have the system automation will go and pick it up, do the processing, and send out a report on an email saying that this is, so that would be like a system automation. Shared prompts, I'll talk through that a little bit today, but yeah, the first two three are where that that builds the foundation. That once we have that foundation, the level 4 and level 5 we can scale. Um, Depending, even in our personal life, we can implement the shared prompts kind of a scenario, or consistent standards. So, or in your
Right.
business as well. Yep.
So the this is more of a public domain information. It is generating from 1 2 3. Uh, at the higher level, they may be using their internal LLMs kind of thing, which is not accessible to everyone to gather the information or output, right?
Yes. So, so you have, when you say internal LLM. So, for example, if I talk about OpenAI or Claude, they are LLMs. Now, when you provide your context inside it, that is when. So let me just step back. So when I say LLM, it is basically a simple LLM, large language model. It's just a transformer thing. So it has got, you send a block of text, and what it does is it would convert it into zeros and ones, tokens, and then from tokens into zeros and one, and then there is a set of transformation that happens, level 1, level 2, level 3, and so it does n levels of transformation, and then it predicts what you're looking for, and then that's what comes out of the picture. Now, this particular, what the how the transformation, the inner block that works, that has been pre-trained with all the knowledge of the internet that these models have been trained on. So they put everything into it, whatever they could find, and they put it in, and that's how it is generating the output. So from your side, the context piece is what you are sending it. So okay, uh, this is my area of interest. I am into marketing. I am looking to market my product, and this is my product. And when that goes as an additional input, the LLMs then use the same formula to generate the output that you are looking for. So yeah, and did I make sense, or was that, did I answer your question?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Because the as you mentioned, it is LLM dot text, which is a kind of a open AI source. It extract the information,
Yeah.
but maybe the more higher version, maybe when companies have a repository of information within the organization, and they want to use AI to extract the data from there, which is not accessible to outside world because this is proprietary information.
Yeah, that's correct. So that's, yeah, that's where the enterprise comes into the picture, where the enterprise will have their own knowledge management system, and they will. Right now, I'm not aware many organizations have internal models as of now. Maybe there are, but generally, what they are doing right now is they are using with OpenAI models or Claude models, and because they have the enterprise subscription, the data doesn't go out as per that enterprise agreements between organizations. So yeah, that's absolutely correct. Yeah, thanks for that. And now, yeah, these are the caveats that I wanted to go in. So AI is evolving fast. Implementation techniques may not be relevant in 6 months. But we are going to cover some of the fundamentals. I think that will still remain. And again, we are using Claude. It doesn't mean that I have an affiliate or any financial relationship. For me, I found Claude is the most useful, and that's why we are using it. And because level 1, 2, 3 are fairly independent of the tool, you can kind of use other tools as well if you find those are better. And like 3 months down the line, some other LLMs comes in, they might be better than Claude. So obviously, we should never be tied to a particular technology on that front. And I think I covered this already. I just covered level 1 to 3 today. 4 and 5 would be a separate. I mean, it's a paid workshop, yeah, but I share the details at the end. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Now, this is a key thing when I talk about, when I said we are covering the fundamentals. Now, this is the key fundamentals that we need to look at. And this is the whole systems thinking that I've been alluding to, that when we think about AI as a tool, we need to think about from a system first perspective, and that's where this having this framework helps you think from a system standpoint rather than from a tool standpoint. So one of the key step, and this is again, this model is not my model. This is Anthropic has given this, created this model. So and you can go and this you can, there's a free training as well. So you can, if you want, you can go deeper into this model, this particular model. But the idea is very straightforward. First step is a delegation at the top. So this is where you decide what does AI is going to do and what are you going to do. So you want to look AI as a collaborator rather than relying solely on AI. Like you don't want to outsource your thinking to AI. So you want to look at collaboration, and that's where you find what are the tasks that AI is good at and what you are good at. Now, if you have been following recently, there was one recent output that happened where uh, I think OpenAI declared that AI has solved a math problem. And when you read the internal paper, you found, I mean, there were some few commentaries from the math researchers who were not affiliated to OpenAI, and they said that what AI did was it was not a problem that was big enough. Presentation larger. Let me see if I can get. I can't still get it. Okay, I can't get the last piece. I'll try to get that. Mm, How did it come? Yeah, description. Sorry. Yeah. So the last piece is I mean the side is description. It says I'll come to the description, but yeah, delegation is what we do. So as I was telling the story about the math researcher, they figured out what the thing is, the problem was not very important to be solved, but the reason why human researchers were not able to solve that problem and why AI was able to do the problem was because for a human to do that processing, they had to be very diligent and they have to like work for years, a lot of mental processing just to get to that particular output. But that was not that. But for humans it was very challenging to do that. But AI could do it because it could run in the background, and that was one of the reasons why it was able to solve it. Uh, and the thing is, but it was not important enough, and that's why humans were not putting that much effort. But for AI, it could use that time to spend that much effort, and that it gave a result. So that's where the delegation piece comes in. You decide what is useful to you and what is mind-numbing tasks that you don't want to do. So those mind-numbing tasks is where AI can come into the picture and can get it done for you. Like for example, you want to create a presentation. You have your ideas around the presentation. You can get the AI to build the presentation for you, but the original ideas are yours. The graphics and everything, those kind of things, you can ask AI to do it. So that's how you decide on the delegation piece as such. Yeah, and the next is description. Now this is where most people focus on, is about how do I get the correct output from AI. So that could be that is how your prompt engineering, context, all those things sits into that green box that's at the description. So it's communicate clearly so that AI understands. That's what it's saying. So it's all about prompt and everything. So and all the focus is right now at that. But the what everybody misses is the first piece, the delegation piece. So unless you get the delegation correctly, all this description might just go for a toss. Yeah, the result will not be useful for you. The next one is discernment. So you want to evaluate what comes back critically. So you want to ask certain questions like, is there a better option to what you have provided? Critically evaluate the output that has come into picture. What if what are the, or you ask what are the assumptions built in the output, and so on. So you ask certain challenging questions to AI, which will help you evaluate whether the whatever the output that has come in was correct or not. And the last bit is on diligence. So diligence is mainly from security piece, ethical piece, removing the biases, the privacy, data privacy. You don't want your customers' information going out, or those kind of checkpoints which would ensure that you are using AI responsibly in the business. Um, any questions? All right. So I'll go to the next piece. I think that's yeah, go to the demo. So I'll open the document that we had. I had shared across. I saw some putting in the chat as well. So um, so the way we are going to work is we are going to work in two different modes. The first mode is a manual mode. Screen is for you again. Hopefully it's better. Yeah. The the first one is a manual mode, and now this is a prompt stepper. So whenever you have been across, if you've been looking around and reading about AI, they all talk about different types of prompts. There's a lot of talks in terms of using specific prompts or prompting techniques, and there are a lot of information out there. But what happens is if you or there are some prompt frameworks that you want to use and so on. The problem with all of that is that when you are working, you can't remember all of those frameworks or all of those. You need to copy paste it. You need to put it somewhere, and then you need to remember to bring it back for yourself, and then put it in your chat window and so on. So what that does is it just creates a lot of friction for you, and it's not convenient for that. So that's where I'm pulling it out as like a prompt stepper scenario, where we first go to this single prompt saying that write a marketing post for my bookkeeping business. So we'll go through this particular thing, right? So what we want to do is we want to uh, build an AI assistant that write exactly like you, right? So let me write. So this I create a blog. As FIFA, we have FIFA World Cup going on, so we can do World Cup. And it's really good. Yeah. So what I'm doing, I just put a single shot prompt that will just give simple. No, I'm not giving any context, so on kind of thing. The places where, yeah, the places where we start building. Yeah, so Manuel, you can start doing it right now with me as we put thing into the prompt, so you can work as we go. Yeah, I don't know why the screen is for the, is it better now? The screen. Can't see your screen. Are you able to you're sharing the screen as part of the video? That is why it is not clear. Okay, is that okay now? Okay. The yeah, I think Rachel said it's good. I think Ross, the screen presentation, all good. So I think I'll continue. Thanks for the feedback. Um, so yeah, so and you guys can do with what you're looking to do. So I'm just so what we are doing is here we are doing it manually first. We are going through this prompt stepper. So and that's the first step. And then as we build through it, we will be able to see how we develop how we use prompts depending on what the use case we want. And then there is a next step as well, where we are going to create a we are going to use Claude desktop to do the same thing. So but just bear with me, I just want to get the fundamentals in, and then we'll get into the next piece. So yeah, so I just gave a marketing copy to sell a PDF on FIFA World Cup, and then it generated this marketing copy and what it creates and so on and so forth. Now, this anybody could do it because this is based upon the public information that we have. So uh, that's the first step in single shot prompt that you can generate to do it. Now, the next layer is where you start adding more context. So I'll just go with this example that I have, like running a bookkeeping firm in Melbourne. How do I use this one? Yeah, so basically your business, I can add more context. This is the second step where I start adding context. Uh, Tradies in Australia, we call them tradies. So I'm using an incognito mode so that it doesn't use any of my previous data, and the context remains clean on it. And now this will generate a marketing copy for a bookkeeping business. Uh, and then see it uses a language that I use. I use tradies, which is what we use in Australia. It might not be in other countries, but yeah. That's what we use, and based on that, it gave what a bookkeeper would do in that scenario. So that's the second stage where we add context. But I want to go deeper into it. So this is what the third stage goes into it, saying add an intention. So right now it did book what it does, DM sorted, and we'll show how it works in the application. But instead of sending a DM, I want to book a call for it. So then there are two ways you can do it. You can do is one way is you copy this and then paste it here again, and then add said my objective is to gain maximum uh, free booking calls, and then you can have also give an act as a best copy writer in the world. You can write. So that now we have added an intention and the objective. So now the cloud will know that okay, it got a context now. It needs to more tailor it a little bit better. So that goes into the next level. So now you can see the size of the context goes on increasing. As I first context was just a sentence, and then I added more context, a little bit more, and now I've added more intention to it. And now I told it to act as the best copywriter. So yeah, so it will get me something more um, tailored for me. Uh, and then now it has given me that information saying uh, I'm offering free 30-minute discovery calls this week for traders who want to finally get the numbers sorted. So now it is trying to get more people on the call rather than just DMing sorting. The next step is you want to use an example. Now, again, this is where this document comes into the picture. You can go and whatever you have an example that you have already written, you can kind of add it, or otherwise you can I can just keeping. And I can give this kind of an example saying use this sample for reference. So I can continue. I can add it here, or I can just continue as well. It doesn't matter because it now has that context. So if I add it now, it should. Now this BAS and ATO, they are all again Australian terms, so don't worry about it. But now it will add a little bit more. Now see, it says good reference. Now it will give you an example. So what we are doing here is just stepping back, is we are building the context, and it depends on our use case. Sometimes we don't need to give all this information. Sometimes you are just looking for certain information, like uh, you might be wondering, what is a solar eclipse? So you can ask that question and it will give you an answer. But that is a single stop. You don't need to give context and all, and so on. So now it came back with BAS lodgement, uh, zero and myope. Yeah, so it has now a little bit more related to what happens in Melbourne. That's a example piece. And the last bit is where we get into framework mode. So now, if you have been in business, or you might be using certain frameworks within your own system, and thus telling it to use a framework will help uh, again tailor it a little bit more. So you use PAS framework, which is problem action, I think action and solution, to make it more compelling. So that's the next bit that I've added. So now, yeah, the action is actually agitating the pain. So it knows about it past framework. So goes and gets the output out. So that's the last step that we have. So the whole intention here is not to use all of these steps every time. It is you want to use each one, depending on the complexity of the task. The more complex the task, the more information you give, like you add a framework and everything. The lesser complexity, lesser requirement, you can directly give it from the start as well. So like a single shot prompt. So now it has tagged as problem, agitate, and solution, and then it gives you a little bit more information. Now this is now if I this is a much better copy than, and it will be related to Melbourne, which is what I was looking at. It will be looking related to the example that I gave for small businesses. So it will look at small businesses, and then it has given in that particular framework. So now it's a you can actually run an ad on this one with a call to action. You can run ad on to it. So that's how we are building this framework of prompt stepper. So, so you just think about them as independent pieces, and each of these independent pieces can be brought together uh, for your solution. Yes, Vipul, you have a question.
I have a question. So these are the prompts you have used for different levels. So like we can kind of prepare based on our requirements. But is it possible for you to share this few of examples of the prompt so it may make us kind of comfortable in starting with that?
Yep, I'll do that after this session. I'll send these things. Yeah.
And if you have a link to some resources where we can look into that, because initially it would be a trial and error because of how we are building this funnels and kind of for marketing. So, your kind of if you can send some example that would help.
Yep, sure.
And And one follow up, like which right now the I use Chat GPT and Gemini actually. So like I was told that the Claude is more reliable. So what's your take on that? Which models are more kind of a near to perfect?
Um, no, I mean, see, you can get results from any model. That most of the models for a general purpose task are so most of the models for the general purpose task are almost at the same level. It's not much of a difference. For Claude, there are certain features right now which are a little bit better. That's why we are like I'm more on Claude, and the thing is, Claude is more trained on software programming, which means if you want to build something, it is able to do it faster. So the example that I gave about document template, I'll share that. Let me see if I can get that. Yeah, it's the project one. Claude. So this is a performance review document. So I kind of attached the performance review document along with the template, and then it would finally so it had all the data and everything, and it would generate this. So for this kind of work, I used ChatGPT first because the person with whom I was working had subscription to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was it gave the first time it gave almost good answer, but when I started, I wanted more customization. It kind of failed, and then we spent like 30-40 minutes on ChatGPT just to get that thing done, but it could not do it properly. But with Claude, I was able to get this done pretty quickly because it writes code because it's trained on programming, so it will write code to get the relevant information, and then it was able to do all of this. out. So this took like 15 minutes, and I did this all on my phone. I didn't even use my laptop for this. I just used, because I did not have access to laptop at that time. I had only phone,
Oh,
so I did it. But
oh, that's awesome.
yeah, so that's where these models differ in terms of their skills. And there's another term that has come into the picture, and that is called as jagged intelligence. In terms of, not all models have the same intelligence in every field. They have been trained differently, or different flavors have been trained. So that's why you need to figure out which model have got intelligence in one area. Like I know Claude has got intelligence in programming because it has been extensively trained on programming. So that's where Claude works on programming side, but marketing side maybe not. ChatGPT might be better, or YouTube. If you have YouTube, then what would happen is Gemini has got all the YouTube data of the world because it's from Google. So if you want to write a better copy for YouTube, Gemini can do a better job because it has been trained on the YouTube data, where how the thumbnail work, what are the titles that are being used, and so all that training has been done for Gemini. So Gemini will do a better on that one. So that's what I'm saying. All these models have got this thing called as jagged intelligence, and yeah, that's that's how
Yeah.
you evaluate it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. I heard that there is some kind of a subscription model where when you give a prompt, it will pull out the information from the different kind of like a Gemini, ChatGPT, Cloud. All three will come in the kind of a tabular form.
Yeah, so that's a little bit on a little bit advanced. Not so all of these tools, they have got their APIs, which is what internally we use. So if I want data from Gemini, there's a Gemini API. I have a subscription to that Gemini API, and then I call it, and it will pull the data from Gemini using that API, and that is done via a thing called MCP, Model Context Protocol. So that's a little bit more technical. Yeah, I can go deeper into that, but yeah, that's
No, that's but I was told that this is like a subscription service, so which includes all these three kind of a API in that. So you pay just one subscription charge, and you
yeah,
can use multiple kind of in a one like app.
yeah, yeah,
Because I'm not technically competent to what you mentioned, but I can if some subscription is available, I can pay one, and then I can use any of this thing together on side by side or as kind of a adjusted.
correct. So there was one. I mean, I used one of them like poe.com. I remember, like, I don't know, 6 months back I used to do that. Yeah, whatever I mentioned, they did it in the background, like. So whatever I mentioned, doing it manually, those tools or those platforms would do it in the background. But then what they will have is they will have limits into how much you can tap into that $20 thing or $30 subscription that you want to have. So yeah, and yeah,
Thank you.
Perplexity as well. It pulls out data from a lot of different sources. Yeah, and all right. Yeah. So in rest of time, well, so that was on prompt stacker. Any other questions on that? Um, yeah, and yeah, then just this one, there's a deep dive workshop that I'm planning to do. It's not, so I'm just looking for interest. If people are interested, just scan this QR code, and yeah, just put in your thing, and I will reach back to you if you are interested in deep dive uh, of this particular thing. I'll just put the link in the chat. Again, it's completely optional. You don't need to do it. It's just I'm looking to have a deeper workshop, deep dives. So if you're interested, just register on this link, and yeah, and then So now we'll go into the Claude system bit. Um, and this is where we'll get through Claude desktop. I'll bring up the Claude desktop audience. Screen share. Does it does it look okay? The screen does the screen look okay?
Hey, it's very hard to see the screen. It's
Oh, is it? I'll
really hard. I think you're sharing it in a different format.
um, let me see. I can do it a little bit better than that.
I mean, I'm not sure if it's on my end or other scenes impact. You barely read what's on your screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can't see the text here in the screen, so
Okay.
except
When it is a larger on the white kind of a PowerPoint presentation.
uh, is it better than now?
Now, I think you're sharing it like a video. Are you?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you're sharing it like a
Yeah,
video.
I'm using an OBS tool, which is what's complicating thing. Let me check if I can get it better. Screen share. Is this better or no?
Yeah, a bit better. Yeah. Yeah, we can read it now.
Okay. Is it all right, or you want me to improve a little bit more?
Yeah, this is good.
Okay, thanks. So we will use the AI template that you have already, so you can work on this. So just before getting into it, have you got Claude desktop installed on your machines or no?
No, I don't have it.
Okay. Uh, yeah, if you don't have it, what you can do is you can just go to claude.com. It works the same way. Uh, so if you don't have it, you can go to the Claude desktop, and what you can do is you have this particular window where you have got new chat, projects, artifacts, and customize. So you can use projects. The whole idea now, what we are going to do is we are going to put all the information that we went through the prompt stepper into a project and then deliver the results. What that would do is, so today I created a marketing copy just now. So similarly, I want to do that marketing copy like 2 weeks down the line, 3 weeks down the line. I don't have to go and create a new all the prompts and everything like that. What I'll be using is I'll just use that particular project and tell it to regenerate it for me, and it will regenerate it based on whatever the changes that you mentioned. So that is where we talked about having a system for you, a repeatable system without doing any kind of automation, which will give you the results that you're looking for.
Uh, Sorry, I missed the part. How we go on this window actually? When we go on cloud.com,
Yeah,
then we need to register it before we can use it.
I I don't think you need to register, but if it needs to register, this is incognito. I didn't. Yeah, if you want, you can register. I don't know whether let me see if I can do incognito. Yeah, I think it asks you to register, so yeah, you will have to register. Doesn't allow you without registration. Um, you want to have some time for registration? I can give you like
Yeah.
2 minutes.
A couple of minutes.
Yeah, yeah. Anybody else have got issue with Claude in terms of desktop, not having desktop or having only browser? Yeah, yeah, it shows on the desktop as well. So if you have, yeah, you should log into it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Um, so there are two different layer to it. First layer is your, say for example, you are working. Um, can I know some of your background so I can just relate to your, uh, like, are you working in when you say different presentation, is it two different topics but related to your domain? Like, what is your domain or something like that? If you give me some information. Okay. Yeah. 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 So that scenario would be you would need two different projects. But for example, you are a um, book. I'll take the bookkeeping example. You are a bookkeeper, and then you have your own custom way of doing the taxes for the businesses. So so in that scenario I create one project and I would put all the details there, and then it will do it for all the taxes that come in. So for example, personal taxes, it will do it in one way, it will in one project. Business taxes, for businesses doing the taxes, will be in a different project, and yeah, so on. So whatever your domain is, you can then create separate projects out. Yeah, hopefully that made sense. Yeah, yeah, that's correct. It also works with reports. So for example, you have to generate a report every month, and you have certain data that you need to put in, and then you give the data source to that particular project, and you give the format to the thing, and it will generate it every month for you. So you don't have to give even the prompts as well. So yeah, 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 yes. So that's a little bit more complex in terms of workflow. I will hope. I'll just, so in that scenario, you need to have you might, when you're doing a market research, right? You would have a research process. So you will have, you say you are looking data from Reddit, then Google's say trends, uh, and then you put an input industry, and then for Reddit you give a Reddit prompt which is specific for Reddit, and then you give Google's uh, trend trend prompt. Basically, then what happens is so this is a little bit of workflow kind of a scenario which you can do. I don't think I need that. And then put a merge results. You have to kind of build either agents or an orchestrating workflow which does this merge results. And then this is your this is a research. This is a workflow that you are using. I'm assuming, and do it like so. So this and now this Reddit prompt, Google Trend prompt, they will all sit in your projects, and then this workflow sits in it, and so that whenever you want to do for different industries, you just put that input industry. But you need to do a research on what prompt you want to give, which works for you, and then put them in a project, and that would generate a report, repeated project. So that can help in different industry. So that's a little bit different. Hope that answers. All right. Yep. I think we'll go down into Claude project. Whether you're using desktop or thing, go to projects, create a say demo. Right. So this is where you can pull data from this particular sheet that you have. So you need to talk about your business. So you can go about there about me. I used to again just copy it. Whatever data you have in the document, you can add it. And
I can't see your screen.
oh,
Actually.
sorry. Screen share. So what I did was I just went into the projects, and then I clicked on new projects, and then I created bookkeeping demo project. Use this project to create marketing copy for my bookkeeping services.
Actually, in the browser, I have a different window, so I don't have a same format as yours. So it shows me the
yeah.
It shows me the functional side. So it say what kind of work do you do, and trying to identify like what's my role.
Okay. So you can ignore that. You can just skip it. You don't need to.
So should I click on I have my own topic?
Yeah. Just click on I have one. Just skip all of that information. It's trying to get the information that we are trying to add.
Okay. So yeah. So now it says first chat with Cloud. It says.
Yeah.
I'm just figuring out. Okay. So on the left hand side, we have to select projects, right?
Yep.
And then we give a name of the project here, and that way it's a new project.
Yep. That's correct.
Okay.
So
yeah, I think the desktop version and the browser version both are different. Actually, it looks like.
yeah, there might be small differences, but yeah, at the end of the day, you
Yeah.
reach a place where you say create a project,
Okay.
add this project, and then give the instructions. Now these instructions will be valid for whatever chat happens within that particular project. So the more instruction you give it, the better Yeah. So if you know, be the best marketer, you know, all to create the okay, use different frameworks.
Uh, can you paste the prompts in the chat so we are on the same page, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually doing it on the fly. I'll paste it. Other, I can do a example. So yeah, this one. So yeah, so I'll just give two examples for now. So and then you click on create project. So now it created a demo project, and whatever work that is going to happen, it is going to store as the chats goes on increasing. It will go and add into this memory thing. It will go on everything add into memory, but it will only happen after few chats. Now, these are the instruction things. So you can add instruction like okay, give an example. Think step by step for each chat. Add, give honest feedback. No insinuating. Uh, format output single single multiple paragraph heading. No, should be able to paste directly. So again, these are instruction. You can again play around with as many instructions you want, and you can save. Now, the next step that you want to do is you want to uh, uh, barely see uh, zoom in, and so so this is the instructions I did. There's the instructions button here, and then I clicked on edit, and I added this instructions here. Hopefully, this is clearer.
Yeah, it's a bit clearer.
And the next thing that you want to do is you want to add files. So this is, for example, your business details. So what I would do is like this again. I'm just taking a that helps succeed. I'll add this and this one, and I can put that in a file or something, or I can just add content, text content. I just this is about my business, and I just add more content. And the next step is to add your voice. So again, either if you have it or you can just write your own. I'll just write an example, uh, a text, voice, voice details, authority, bookkeeping, formal. You can just add that one because you're it's a bookkeeping. It's a serious business. So add voice details, and then uh, this is the question. Next one. Describe a writing that will make you cringe. So again, add files, add text content, and then
So what do
create.
these files actually do?
These are for whenever you are going to add generate content for your projects. These files will be used from the memory, and it will try to use those instructions. So you don't have to give all those inputs again and again to your projects. So this is like I just have to
Uh,
give it one time, no casual or emojis.
So, just an example, if we have a web example of another company, if we give a web address of a particular page, it will pick up.
It may not have the. It needs a tool to pick it up.
Okay, so
Yeah,
so if we generate a PDF of the particular page and upload here, it will work, right?
yeah, it will work. PDF it can read to a certain extent. So so the idea is that yeah, then you give your own writing samples or examples. So you can go to this is a very simple site. If I go to there's something should be there. This is a writing sample from the business. So what this does is just preps it up, saying that these are the sources that I want to give, and it will write in that language. It will learn the language uh, based upon your content, and then your audience. Uh, Ladies such as plumbers, electricians, roofer, and what topic. So you can just say industry, you can give all the topics. We want to write marketing copy. And then there are rules. I think you can give the same rules that is there here. And these rules can actually go into instructions because that's the better place to put the rules. So that's added. And now what we do is we are done with all this thing. We will go to the first one that we did. Uh, I'll just try to write a marketing post and I'll just give this. Let's see what it does. Because now it has all this context. We are also given the framework. So when we put this out, saying what is my intention, or and I can also ask put an instruction saying that rules always always ask for objective slash intention of producing the marketing copy. Now if I remove the objective, it should ask basically. See, now it has started asking the question. I have a question to make. What is the objective of this post? And then now this one gives me an option to generate leads, build brand awareness, educate audience, etc. I'll just select. You can write something else as well if you want to. And what specific bookkeeping pain point you want to address for tradies? Right now it's tax time, so in Australia, so tax time. And then now see it says reading project files for context. So this is the ones that is added from the thing, and then say it is already taken that it's a Facebook post because we have given it that instruction that it has to be optimized for Facebook. And then it generates see the CPAs and registered BAS agents and all, they're all coming from that website. And plumbers, electrician, roofers, again, that is what we said, these are my audience. It picked up everything from there. And then yeah, I don't know, I will ask it which framework it has used. It didn't ask which framework this has been used. This is diligence part of it. I want to tell whether it has to use PAS or whatever framework for this. So for this post. So, so say the post was written problem agitate solution. So now it has broken it down and told me that this is the thing. So this is how um, with the minimum copy, minimal prompts, I was able to get the result because I was using the projects. So any questions on this one?
Um, I find it little complicated compared to using ChatGPT or Gemini, I guess, because here this instructions and rules and all you record at the separate places. So I
Yeah,
think those are more simpler, but maybe this is more kind of a systematic approach to a project.
yeah, I think you nailed there. It's a more
Yeah.
systematic approach. It's
Yeah.
and it's more repeatable. So tomorrow I go back to the project and then I want to say create another marketing copy. So it will again ask me what is the objective or intention of the one. So I said I want to what did I do last time? I just say promote uh, BAS, the business activity business, and then now it changes. So because uh, yeah, just I'll say book a consultation. It is asking me all these questions, which when I used simple prompt, it will not ask me those questions. But because I've given all those instructions, it is making me think as well. So now I'm working as a collaborator rather than pure consumer. And then now it has generated the Facebook post, uh, and then again it asks. But yeah. So the thing is, all the information I just give information one time. Now I can generate it two times, three times, whatever number of times I want to, and it will follow the same set of instructions again and again. I don't have to give the instructions again and again. That's where the difference comes into the picture. Any questions? Thanks. That's the demo. So, yeah, thanks all. These are things we covered today: the AI history, the key market forces, and why this matters for a business. The maturity model. As I said, we there are five levels, and first three levels are what we covered. Four and five is what something that comes later, and then systems thinking with 4D framework, delegation, description, and the two demos. how we're using prompt stacker demo and Claude system demo for, yeah. So I would just request one favor for me. If you have can give spend 2 minutes right now and just give me some feedback on the session. I know that things did not work out well about the slides, and I'll make better slides. But yeah, um, any feedback if you can, just give it 2 minutes, and then we can wrap up this session. Um, yep, I would appreciate any feedback. And I'm sorry, James, on that one. I think he left. I'll get that thing sorted. Uh, all right, and the last bit is, yeah, this one I've got a as I said earlier, there's a deep dive workshop. So it is right now not live. I'm just looking if people are interested in doing that. If I get enough interest, yeah, I'll run that as well. Thanks, Gordon. Yeah, I think that's all from me. I got like we got like another 20 minutes or so. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to take the questions.